graduated, elevated. Now it's my time to shine, yeah, let's go. Major moves, power moves, take it to the top one time non-stop.
Hello, David, and welcome to Ph.D. Hardtalk. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon and this morning.
Morning for me.
Good stuff. Could you please introduce your research to the world, what you do and why you love it?
I am agronomist, and all my postgraduate research and studies have been in wheat science. Weeds are these plants that grows in the crops, like maize and rice and sugarcane. That these little plants that emerge and rise and grow and take the water and the nutrients that the plant require for them. So the yield of the crops is lower than expected. So those kind of scientists we call wheat scientists, and my master and my PhD are in these subjects, specifically mathematical and statistical models that could effects of the weeds on the crops. Is something like that.
That's quite interesting. So I love sugarcane. It's delicious. I love it. And you said sugarcane, maize, and rice, which are like the staple food for most people in terms of maize and rice. Those are the two key main things. So in terms of your research then, how does it benefit a normal person like me? Let's say I've got a little farm and I'm growing maize and I want to make maybe tacos or cornmeal or whatever I want to make and make a profit. And these little weeds are coming up. How does your research benefit me when I can't read your work and I can't come and talk to you? How will it benefit me? How does it get to me?
Yes, this is kind of theoretical approach. So that direct benefit to a non-agronomist person is not quite easy to explain, but the understanding of the competence that weeds can lower the yield of the crop could works for agronomists to plan to program better management of the weeds, better weed management. So I will try to explain to you this subject that is very exciting for me. That is because it was my research for 4 or 5 years, but if I recall all the research that I did, is around 10 years since my master's. So these models could enhance the which management plans programs to keep the weeds controlled, managed. This could lower the cost of the products and making more profit. Yes, you can expense less money in the crops and sell the crops, sell the yield, and get more money. Yes, for the farmers. But my research is kind of theoretical stage, and I hope in the future could be taken for by another agronomists and researchers, and refine it in specific crops and places in the world. So that's the point. That's the view.
Okay, so I'm understanding what it is that you're saying. So if, for example, we look at Jamaica, they have sugarcane as well, don't they? And they have maize. I don't know if they can plant rice because it's very tropical. I don't know if they get water.
Yes, it's specifically my research was in lettuce. Yes, but have some components my research. So we invented like synthetic crops, like computer data. I developed an algorithm so to have a lot of data, like 1 million crops, like I saw and cropped 1 million fields. Yes. And with this I tested the model. It's an autoregressive model. So is this model where y equals y, but this y is the crop yield. I mean the crop yield depends of the same crop yield of the neighborhood plants of one plant. Yes, I have one plant. I will step far. I have one plant here of lettuce, of any crop, and other plants like is around them, like here or here or here. Yes, they are their neighbor plants, crop plants. Yes, if they are closer, the competition is higher.
It is.
Yes, and they are far apart. The competition is lower. But if they are apart, a lot of weeds will grow here.
Yes, they do.
Yes, and can grow faster and larger. So this plant is will have a lower yield. Yes. So this distance is measured for each plant, and the yield for each one of the plants in the crop has to be measured. So we develop another system to record or to sample the different all the plants in the field. It's a little field that we saw and until the yield, the harvest of lettuce. But we have to record the weight of each plant. Yes. And the amount of weeds around each plant. So we use sensors, infrared sensors, to sample to get the information of the field. That's was the steps of the research. So we have this model. This model could be interesting. How do we test it? So let's do the synthetic yield of synthetic data of yields of 1 million fields of any crop, and we saw lettuce to really test it in something real, something that exists in this plane of the existence.
So just to ask, did you look at the soil type? Because the soil, there's different types, isn't there? And
yes,
that will encourage certain weeds to grow out of there quicker than, you know, the other soils. So did you look at that as well, and whether it was close to a river, or, you know, because that encourages, you know, the growth and the pace as well? Or is
Yes,
that something that you didn't look into?
in Colombia, we had a lot of kinds of soils, and the weather is very different. Depends of where you are in the country. So in a broad way, we have three in altitude, three parts, three different environments. So the hot tropical weather, medium, like I will talk in meters, from level of the sea to 1,000 is tropical hot weather. That is possibly that people who live in countries with seasons could relate to the tropical environment. And this medium is like I don't know if this is the word, fog, like the clouds are down, fog.
Yeah, it is fog,
It's medium, like 1,000 to 2,000 meters of the level of the sea. Is this medium? We call it medium hot. And above that, higher than 2,000 meters, is cold weather. It's like your summer in England. Yes.
Yes.
It's kind of the relation is between 12 Celsius to 22 Celsius.
Yeah, that is the British weather. You're accurate there. That is our summer. 15 could be the highest.
It's all the year, all the days of the year. Is this temperature all the time. So I live in Bogota. So it's in 2,600 meters of the level of the sea. So our current temperature and weather is kind of dry, but it's cold. For us, it's cold. Mean of 15 Celsius.
Okay. Yeah, that could be cold because it's really hot there. So I can see how you would say it's cold. So,
it's cold for us.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Of course, there is more cropping systems like potatoes and some grasses above that, about 3,000 meters. But it's really cold for us, 11 or 12 Celsius in average every day. Yes. So in where I am, there is no sugar cane, so we have to do the testing of the model in lettuce and another vegetables are actually this production area in Bogota and around Bogota. So here the soil. I mean, in ancient times, there was a lagoon.
Okay.
And the sediments create a wonderful soil here around Bogota, 3 meters deep. It is really good soil, and it's a black soil, and that you can separate the aggregates.
Particles, really?
It's a very wonderful soil to the crops here, vegetables, maize, potatoes. Actually, the main crop here is flowers, cut flowers like roses and other things like that.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
It's mainly for export to US and Europe. But in other areas or altitudes, there will be, of course, another crops like sugarcane and coffee and I don't know the English word, cacao, like the chocolate.
Oh yeah, the cocoa. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I got that one.
And this palm to get the oil, oil palm, oil
Yeah,
palm.
the plant. I know it is palm oil because I only use palm oil, but I know the palm. Yeah.
But the model of the system of getting the data could be used in all kind of crops and even in other countries like yours, like in England or US, and any country could use this kind of method to assess the competition between weeds and the crops.
Wow, that is amazing. I mean, you know, I would never think that. I would just think, let me just remove all the weeds, but I wouldn't think it's the distance. I wouldn't think about the soil. It's only when I've read about your work, and then it got me thinking, right, that's why all of my vegetables don't grow and they always die, because I don't think about the spacing and I don't think about the soil, the nutrients, how it all works together in terms of the ecosystem. So your research has really opened up my eyes. I would love to have a farm one day, so I might call you.
Of course.
For that.
Actually, the weeds could lower the yield of the crops in higher amount rather than pests and disease. Is more food we are losing because of the weeds than because of the pests like insects or diseases, plant diseases. But weed science is an underestimated field because there is a few weed scientists compared to entomologists that study insects and phytopathologists that studies diseases, plant diseases. In Colombia, I think we are like 6 or 7 weed scientists in the whole country. There, yes.
That is such a low number.
I think that I was the last graduated from weed science in a lot of years.
Wow.
Like 3 or 4 people in the last 20 years. Yes.
I have no words, but we live on plants. We need the plants.
Yes, and we need to manage the weeds because the crop suffers really hard with the weeds. But there is not a lot of us people here.
Oh my gosh. So in terms of what you've just said right now, what advice would you give somebody that's thinking, I want to go into this field? It sounds really interesting based on the information that you've shared to me. What can I do? How can I research and find out about the opportunities?
This is a hard question because the job opportunities or the field opportunities to study are very low. It's like a circle because there is no a lot of us. We don't really know how many problems they are, and if we don't know how many problems are, people can wouldn't study that field. Yes. So there is not a problem, a real problem. and a lot of people prefers to study insects. It's more interesting, or plant diseases, or the soil, or the physiology of the plant is more popular. There are more popular fields of study in agronomy, but with science, understand the biology, the ecology, the management. I think it's not interesting for normal people. We're kind of weird.
No,
We
so
are the
I think,
weirdest of the agronomists are us.
yeah, I would like to beg to differ. The reason why I say that is because I didn't know that seaweed, for example, there were different species of seaweed until I started speaking to one of my colleagues on Ph.D. Hardtalk. And today I'm learning about weeds. I feel like the education or the knowledge about, you know, such research isn't out there. The main things that you will, you know, in terms of being advertised is, you know, bacteria, you know, like you were saying, the insects, you know, oh, they're going to kill us, they'll eat all the plants, we need to find, you know, a sustainable way to help ourselves. But the marketing for your topic, for example, isn't in the forefront. So I wouldn't necessarily know about it unless I meet you and you tell me about it. And then I get thinking, I'm like, this really sounds fascinating. So I think it's the marketing behind your research that's missing in action.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. When I talk with another people, agronomists or not agronomists, they say the same thing. Really? There is a weird question here. Yes, this happens a lot.
Yeah.
The other issue is that with science, born like herbicide use in the crops. So herbicides in these times are politically incorrect. That we use herbicides like glyphosate and stuff. I don't know if you know something about glyphosate. There's been a lot of issues and problems with cancer and a lot of this. I don't know this word. In Spanish is demandas. Like I sue you for some harm that you
suing, yeah.
suing.
Okay. Yeah.
And glyphosate is kind of the center of the storm, of the hurricane. So is oh no, glyphosate is you shouldn't use, but it's the most common pesticide used in the world, and we all benefit from the use of it. If we don't use it, there is not enough food for all of us. So, but we have to use it well.
Yeah.
Yes, is the use, not the chemical that is harmful. Yes. So this label of the herbicide, I know it's herbicide, so I don't. But we have to study taxonomy and biology and ecology. And ecology is a very big area, because we have to study the relationships with insects, with bad insects like pests, but also the good ones, and weeds and the diseases and other microorganisms, and weeds and the soil, weeds and the water, weeds on the crop. And this is my particular study, that the relationship between weeds and the crop in spatial, because before it's only an average. I had 20 plants in average, and I have 4 plant crops in a square meter. Is average, and reading this an average is really hard to understand the effects of the plants on the crops, of the weeds on the crops. When we saw and understand in a spatial way, it's not an average. It's really each plant of the crop studied and knowing what happened with that relationship. So is far better than the things that we used before. It's only an average, and in one field, a small field, could change, and each meter, each step away could change the whole relationship between the crops and the weeds. So it's really interesting for me. I don't know if for your viewers, because
I'm learning a lot, and you've just made me think. For example, you know how you mentioned the quantity that is being used, that's the issue. It's not the product itself, because if you're pouring too much, it causes issues.
Yes.
So look at fertilizer as well. There are challenges in terms of, you know, the fertilizer that's used on plants, that it causes cancer, etc. And people are suing globally. Different businesses are being sued left, right, and center. So it's not the product; it's the quantity.
Not also the quantity, but the how we put it in the field.
Okay.
Yes. If we use a plane, or a big plane or a helicopter or something like that, of course, we will harm another stuff that we don't want to harm, like people, water resources, and other plants that we don't want to the chemical riches. But when we study the crop systems in a special way, we can put specifically the right amount in the right place. So this could reduce the use and the amount of the chemicals in around 70 or 75%. So this is a lot. This is a more sustainable agriculture for everyone, for the environment, for the farmer, for the consumer, for all the food chain, food supply system.
Ecosystem. No, thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's opened my eyes anyway. So now we're going to move on to the next section, which is basically asking you a few questions just to shake the table a little bit and make it interesting. So, in your own opinion, do you feel fulfilled when you publish an article? And do you think it's right for universities, no institutions, to say you should publish for us to potentially offer you a job? Because then we don't know how good you are if you haven't published. What's your opinion on that?
I have some issues about the article and the editorial. Charge for the author and charge for the reader. Yes. Money. So what's the point? What's the point that we as an author have to pay for the publish. And in countries like Colombia, it's very, very hard to find the resources to publish. But when an article has a lot of views or downloads or reads, we don't get the money. The money goes for the editorial, like the company, not the university, not the author. Yes. So this is my issues around the publish or the science article systems. But yes, we have to publish to get known by other researchers in around the world. And the last article we published very has a lot of downloads and sites that other people use the information and cite us in their articles. So we are really happy for this last article. Yes, the last paper went very well, but cost a lot of money for countries like mine, and for even independent researchers, because some universities has the money for support their teachers or researchers. But I am currently in I had no contract with any university or research institute. I currently just teach about with science, but it's only teaching and get only paid for the hours that I am teaching, and I am doing no research. Yes, it's really hard for independent research in like I told you, the so underestimate field, this weeds and the weed science, is very hard to do the things. The before the last, I don't know the word. Before the last article, there was another that I have to do it kind of alone, by myself, and put the money for the field study and go for the sample and write it. And of course I get some help with some colleagues, but it's kind of all of us, and this is not the support for any kind of the government or some research facility, or nothing. Is we call this with the nails. Work with the nails is a really hardworking and with very few resources, but it's what it is. And but this article has not a lot of views because it was in a local journal, but we are happy with this article too.
Okay, so this is a conversation between me and the universities out there. David has just said a key point there to say this is a niche research field, and in terms of the importance of it, there is value. So contact David, please. He is published.
That is my whole data is there. Feel free to find me.
Yeah, literally. I guess the second, before I close our conversation, question is, again, based on conversation, I've come to realize, and I want to ask this question and would love to hear your opinion. Would you say that earning a PhD, if you come from a disadvantaged or low income household, will help you to escape poverty? Or do you think it's nah?
Yes? Yes, of course it is. I had a scholarship for my doctorate, for my PhD. So if isn't the scholarship, I could not study the PhD. It was in a public university, in the National University. So, and I come from a middle low for Colombian standards income family. So this public education, public financed education is 100% escape from poverty for people like me and for my colleagues, my closest colleagues that in the university. We all come from or lower or middle lower income families, and this is 100% sure escape from the poverty cycle, and we of course get a higher payer jobs, and in the stuff like we like to do, and we have passion for this, and of course we get the money, but yes, 100% I agree with you that public education and or the scholarships that supports postgraduate studies and more in countries like Colombia are very, very important in terms of the welfare of us as researchers, or holding a doctorate or PhD title, for the society too, because we hope that our research helps the companies, the farmers, the environment, their farm systems as well. Yes, 100% agree with you.
No, I love that. Thank you so much. So guys, read your books, read, and break the cycle. Poverty is hard on anybody, especially when you've seen your parents go through it. You want to do better, and I guess we've seen that there's a loophole, and the loophole is education. So go for it. Read. I think I'll leave it there. The final question: do you think PhD Hardtalk is benefiting researchers globally from these interviews that we're having?
I think that people knowing about a lot of subjects that is not usually in the regular conversation, like weeds. Oh, that is a field of study. I could do that.
Yeah,
yes,
I
can. You can explore subjects. You can know something that you have never heard before. So of course, this is a really discovery place. Yes, that we can found for inspiration, for these people are more crazy than me, so it's okay.
I feel better every time after a conversation. I'm like, do you know what? I'm doing all right.
Yes. And yes, of course, the PhD is a very lonely path. Yes, because you can speak these subjects with a very few people. Yes. So where as in my PhD studies, I only speak with my this is called here director, like
supervisor,
my
PI,
lead teacher, the advisor, and no more people knows about this subject, about these advances. Even closest agronomies in the same field area. I don't know what you are speaking for. I don't understand you anything like that you are saying.
Yeah.
So this could be a lonely path, but is so worthy. It's really worthy to achieve that. But you have to have the passion.
Yes.
If you don't do anything else, where you feel that passion and excitement, and if you are good selling stuff, sell stuff. If you are good at learning and reading and understanding and curious, and I really want to know what this is for, do a PhD.
And that's it. I love that. Simple. Thank you so much for your time. But I know you currently have a YouTube channel, and you talk about something that I love so much, and that is coffee. Like, I love coffee so much. So could you share, details about your YouTube channel and what you talk about, so that people want to come and learn more about? And I got this wrong, people. I spelled Colombia the wrong way. Oh, did I get it? So please type it correctly.
Yes, the root of the word is Colombo.
Colombo.
It's like the male pigeon.
Oh,
This is the origin of that word, Colombo. But the Latin root is Columbo. So in English, it's pronounced Columbia, but here is Colombia.
Thank you.
So
I was so wrong for that, wasn't I?
No troubles. The coffee. This is a real. We could spend another hour here, so I will try to shorten as much I can possible do it. Colombia is a very known country for the coffee. And it's exported to a lot of countries in the world. It's known about the quality coffee and soft coffee. But this is the issue here. In Colombia, we don't drink good coffee because it's all exported. The good coffee is exported, and in Colombia, we drink bad coffee. Yes, that happens.
Something's not adding up.
This is a third world country. Remember that. We export the best coffee, and we keep the bad coffee, and people are used to the bad coffee, highly toasted, low quality coffee, and in the last 15 or 20 years, the good coffee is toasted here. We, as a country, get the permission for the exporters to roasted here in the last 15 or 20 years. So a lot of farmers are getting the whole process of the coffee until roasted and packed in a bag before is sold in high we call it costales, really big bags, and ship it around the world. Yes, this is the thing. I discovered specialty coffee is the name for the high quality coffee, specialty coffee. I discovered it around 3 years ago. Because no, I don't like coffee. Coffee is very bitter and highly roasted. I don't like coffee. I don't like it coffee. So I discovered the real good quality coffee 3 years ago, and it's another stuff. It's other drink. It's other had a million of different flavors like apple, lime, a lot of fruits like peach, like strawberry, like blueberry, blackberry, or sugarcane flavor, or honey flavor, or I don't know this plant in English. I think it's chamomile.
Okay.
Chamomile,
Yeah.
this herb, this
Yeah.
herb.
We have it in tea, we have it in
Or-
coffee. I'm feeling really bad right now.
Or cinnamon, or and it's only the coffee that could have these flavors, because it's well, it's going very well in the cropping system, and in the roasted, and in the preparation. Yes, so I study as a barista to prepare really good preparation to with the coffee, and different methods. It's not only the machine coffee, the espresso machine coffee. There is 100 of different methods to prepare a really good coffee. So I get very excited for this discovery for me. And I want to people in Colombia, and of course in the world, get known about the real coffee, the real high quality coffee, and how to taste it, and how to prepare, and how to find it. Yes, and in my channel in YouTube is around that, where to find it, where to taste it, how to prepare in home, and there is a lot of places in Colombia that are the crops, so different flavors, different varieties, different species of the coffee. It's very amazing world, and it was a very amazing discovery for me, because I really enjoyed the acid. The acid is sour.
Yeah.
The taste sour.
The taste, yeah.
Sour and sweet and bitter combined to have a perfect flavor coffee in your mouth. I am exporting coffee in small amounts to Spain, and we hope to get to France and Switzerland. But it's in a long term. It's a few amounts of coffee for some specific people there, but we are trying to get to the people knows more about the high quality coffee. Please feel free to contact me for these classes about coffee, or workshops about coffee, or getting the coffee.
Definitely. I have to say, I have a confession. I love coffee so much, and hearing you say that people, at home, in terms of Colombia, they don't get to experience the good quality coffee. I feel really bad, because I enjoy my coffee. That's why I drink so much coffee. I love the flavors, like you've just explained. You get the salted caramel, you can different flavors, and the people that enhance the beans and work really hard in the factories, they don't get to taste the goodness that we taste. That's made me feel bad. So that's my confession. In terms of the next steps, if you've watched this video, please contact David. Workshops, like you've just said. If you feel bad, just as I do, rather you give back to the community than go to Starbucks. I mean, Starbucks, you're great. I love your coffee. Cafe Nero,
I've never been in a Starbucks.
Don't sue me. I'm just saying. But no, thank you so much for your time, David, today. We've learned so much through your journey, from your research to the coffee. And the coffee is a thing here. We all love coffee in Europe. I think, you know, you've looked at the stats, we buy more compared to other parts of the world. So thank you very much for sharing today. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much. This was great for even practice my English. I'm sorry. I apologize for my low vocabulary in broader terms. But I do my best.
Yeah, it was amazing. I understood you. And to return the favor, I will say, is it muchas gracias, David? Is it David?
Así es, así es. No, con mucho gusto estar aquí contigo en tu canal. Espero que tengas una muy buena tarde, que tengas un muy buen fin de semana y que tengas muchas vistas en tu canal. ¿Qué tal?
Gusto.
What's for your Spanish viewers?
Yes. I'm glad. So thank you again.
You have to translate that.
I'm going to listen. I'll listen to the video after, and I'll be typing on the internet and learning, and I'm going, okay, so that's what that means. That's what that means. Next time I will know what to say. I need to learn other languages.
You have to put your cell phone with the translate and the microphone, and that's it.
But yeah, thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Elevated, now it's my time to shine, yeah, let's go.